Have you ever felt like there's something special inside you just waiting to be unleashed? Maybe a talent or passion you've been hesitant to explore. Well, here's the truth. Your gifts have the power to open doors you never imagined. In this video, we're diving deep into why embracing your unique talents is the key to unlocking new opportunities. Whether you're just discovering your abilities or you're already on the journey, I'm here to remind you that the world is waiting for what only you can offer. But hey, before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the inspiration coming your way. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. What gifts do you think you've been given that could open new doors for you? Drop a comment below and let's start this journey together. We all have something inside of us, something unique, a talent, a passion, an ability that sets us apart from anyone else. But here's the thing, it's not just random. These gifts we carry, the ones we sometimes overlook or downplay, are part of something bigger, a plan. They aren't coincidences. They're part of the story of our lives, the keys to the doors we're meant to open. You've been chosen not by accident, but with purpose. And these gifts? They're the tools you're meant to use to carve your path and unlock your true potential. Let me take you back to a time when I didn't really understand this concept myself. I remember a time when I felt like everyone else around me had something special, whether it was their ability to communicate, their creativity, or their natural knack for leadership. And I couldn't help but wonder, what's my thing? What's the thing that makes me stand out? I wasn't sure what my gift was. I spent so much time comparing myself to others, questioning whether I had any unique qualities at all. It wasn't until I started embracing my own journey and being open to discovering my strengths that I realized what had always been inside me. For a long time, I had a love for storytelling, but I didn't think of it as a gift. It felt more like a hobby, something I enjoyed doing in my spare time. But the more I shared stories, whether they were my own or stories from others, the more I realized that they had the power to connect people, to inspire them, to lift them up. It took time for me to truly see the value of what I had to offer. When I started sharing my stories with a larger audience, opportunities began to open up in ways I never imagined. What I had once dismissed as something insignificant became my strength, my gift, and my way to impact the world. It was when I embraced it, truly accepted it, that the world started to reflect back what I had to offer. And that's the beautiful thing about discovering your unique gifts. They have the power to open doors that you never knew existed. Your talent isn't just for you, it's meant to be shared with the world. There's a reason you have what you have. The universe, or whatever you choose to believe in, has a plan for you, and these gifts are a big part of it. They are your keys to success, to fulfillment, and to becoming the person you're meant to be. When you start to believe in your own abilities, when you start to trust the process and honor what's unique about you, you'll see opportunities begin to unfold that you never saw coming. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that other people have it all figured out. They seem to know exactly what they're doing, and you're left wondering if you missed the memo. But let me tell you something important. There is no timeline. There is no right way to go about discovering your gifts. It's a journey. And sometimes the greatest discoveries come when we least expect them. It's about giving yourself the space and grace to explore, to try different things, and to embrace the uncertainty that comes with the unknown. I want you to think about something for a second. What if the thing you've been waiting for, the thing you've been searching for, is already inside you? What if the success, the joy, the purpose you've been chasing is already waiting for you to acknowledge it, to claim it as your own? It's not out there somewhere, it's within you. And sometimes all it takes is a shift in perspective, a change in mindset, to recognize it. Here's the thing. You were chosen to do something amazing. You have a gift, and even if you're not sure what that gift is right now, it's there. You've always had it, and it's waiting for you to step into it. Every step you take on your journey is leading you closer to that discovery. You might not have all the answers today, and that's okay. The path unfolds as you walk it, and with each step, you'll come closer to understanding what you're meant to do. Take a moment to reflect on your life. What makes you feel alive? What brings you joy? What comes naturally to you, even if you don't give it much thought? These are the clues, the breadcrumbs that will lead you toward your gift. It doesn't have to be something grand or flashy. It doesn't have to look like what anyone else is doing. Your gift is uniquely yours, and it's powerful in its own way. I know it can be scary to step into the unknown, to take that leap of faith when you're not sure where it will lead. But remember this, you were chosen to live out your purpose. The world needs what you have to offer, and the only way to truly step into your greatness is by embracing the gifts you've been given. Don't hide them. Don't play small. Own them. Share them. Let the world see the amazing person you are and the incredible impact you can make. When you start to believe in yourself and trust in the gifts you've been given, you'll begin to see the world shift around you. Things will start to align in ways you never thought possible. Opportunities will open up, and you'll find yourself stepping into spaces you once thought were out of reach. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about being willing to take that first step, knowing that you're not alone, and trusting that the journey will unfold in its own time. So, if you're wondering whether you have what it takes, the answer is yes. You've got it. Your gifts are already inside you. You are already chosen. Now, it's just a matter of stepping into them and letting the world see the power you bring. You've been given everything you need to succeed. It's time to embrace it, to believe in it, and to watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. We all know the feeling, self-doubt creeping in, that voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, or that fear of failure holding you back from even trying. It's almost like we're conditioned to question ourselves, to wonder if we're capable of achieving the things we dream about. And that's a tough place to be, because the truth is, we all have so much potential inside of us. But that potential, it's often buried beneath layers of fear, uncertainty, and the nagging belief that we're not equipped for success. So many people live their lives feeling like they're not enough, like they're somehow missing something, as if their dreams are reserved for other people, the ones who seem to have it all figured out. But I want you to hear this loud and clear. Your gifts are already inside you. You don't need to go searching for them, because they're already there, quietly waiting to be unwrapped. They're the talents, the passions, the unique qualities that make you, you. And yet, so many people fail to tap into them because they let that fear, that self-doubt, dictate their actions. Think about it for a second. How many times have you dismissed something you're good at because it came too easily, or maybe it felt too different from what others around you were doing, so you pushed it aside thinking it's not practical, or it's not the right time? We've all done it, shoving those gifts into the background because we think we need to look or act a certain way to be successful. But here's the catch. Success doesn't always look like what we expect. It's not always the loudest, most obvious path. Sometimes success is hidden in the things that feel natural, the things that come effortlessly to us. But we don't always recognize that. There's something really powerful about the things that come easily to us. Often we think those things aren't valuable simply because we don't struggle with them. But it's that very ease that's a sign. It's a clue, a hint that you're connected to something unique. The skills or interests you might have dismissed or downplayed because they felt too simple. They're the very things that could set you apart and lead you to incredible opportunities. Think about the things you do without even thinking about them. The little moments where you lose track of time because you're so engrossed in what you're doing. Whether it's making people laugh, solving problems, creating something beautiful, or connecting with others in a way that feels natural to you, those are your gifts. They're the things that are second nature, but to others, they might feel like something they can't do. So why aren't you giving yourself credit for them? Why do you think they're not enough? Maybe it's because you've been told, or you've internalized, that success has to look a certain way, that it needs to be difficult or require an overcoming of something monumental. We see stories of struggle and hardship, and we think that's the only way to earn our place in the world. But success doesn't always have to come through struggle. It can be found in ease, in the flow, in the things that feel effortless. The key is recognizing that what feels easy to you might be exactly what someone else needs or admires. I want to challenge you to think about what you've been ignoring or dismissing about yourself. What comes naturally to you? What are the things you do without even thinking, the things that light you up, even if they seem too small or too different from what others are doing? Maybe you're someone who loves working with your hands, creating things out of nothing. Maybe you're great at listening, offering advice or comfort when others need it most. Maybe you've always had a love for art, writing, or technology, but it's been pushed aside because it didn't seem practical or realistic. These things that feel like second nature to you, they are your gifts. And I want you to start looking at them differently. When we start to embrace the things that come naturally to us, we unlock a whole new world of potential. It's like opening a door that's been standing there, waiting for you to notice it. But that door can't open if we're too busy doubting ourselves or thinking that what we have to offer isn't enough. You have what it takes right now. Your gifts are already inside you, and when you start to unwrap them, to bring them into the light, you'll begin to see just how much you have to offer. I know it can be intimidating to embrace the things that feel too easy or too different. You might wonder if anyone will understand, or if it'll make sense in the bigger picture of your life. But trust me, these things are the foundation of your success. These are the things that, when combined with your passion and determination, can turn into something incredible. Don't let fear stop you from unwrapping the gifts that are already inside you. Look at the world around you. There are people out there who are waiting for exactly what you have to offer. There are people who need the talents, the ideas, and the energy that you bring. It might not always be obvious at first, and it might feel a little scary to step into the unknown, but the world is full of opportunities for those who are willing to trust themselves and share what they have to give. You don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have it all figured out. Just take that first step, unwrap that gift, and see where it takes you. The journey will unfold as you go, and each step will bring you closer to the person you're meant to be. Remember, your gifts are already inside you. It's time to stop holding back and start sharing them with the world. The world is waiting, and you have everything you need to make an impact. Once you begin to unwrap your gifts, you'll start to realize something profound. The world is waiting for what you have to offer. You might not always see it, but the reality is that your unique abilities, no matter how small they seem, have the power to make a difference. Every little thing you do that comes from your heart and your passion ripples out and affects the world in ways you can't always predict. And that impact, it's what makes you special. It's what makes you powerful. It's easy to think that our individual contributions don't matter. We see the big names, the billionaires, the influencers, the game changers, and it can feel like they've got it all figured out, like their success is on another level, something so far out of our reach. But here's the truth. What often makes these successful people stand out isn't their grandiose ideas or their enormous efforts. It's their ability to lean into their natural gifts and let them shine. They didn't hold back from being themselves. They didn't bury what came naturally to them. Instead, they embraced it and shared it with the world. That's how they made a real impact. Look at someone like Steve Jobs. He didn't start by trying to reinvent the entire tech world. He started by embracing his unique ability to think differently, to see technology in a way that others couldn't. Jobs credited his breakthroughs to his ability to trust his intuition and his passion for making things simpler and more accessible. It wasn't that he had to be the smartest person in the room. It was that he was willing to take risks and trust the gift of vision he had. And that's what led to the creation of one of the most influential companies in the world. Or think about Oprah Winfrey, someone who is known for her authenticity and connection with people. Oprah's gift wasn't just in her ability to talk. It was in her ability to listen, to understand, and to create spaces where people felt heard and valued. She didn't shy away from her natural talent for empathy and storytelling. Instead, she leaned into it, and the result was a career that not only changed her life, but touched millions of lives around the world. These examples don't just apply to billionaires or celebrities. They apply to you too. Whatever your gift is, whether it's creating, connecting, teaching, healing, or anything else, it has the potential to shape your world, your community, and beyond. The difference between those who make an impact and those who don't is often just this: the courage to share their gifts, to trust that even the smallest, most seemingly insignificant talent can create waves in a vast ocean. I know it can feel overwhelming to think that what you have to offer could actually change anything. It can feel like your contributions are too small to matter. But let me ask you this: what would the world look like if everyone held back because they thought they didn't matter? What would it look like if the person who was meant to write that novel, compose that song, or start that business stayed silent, simply because they thought their gifts weren't big enough to make a difference? The truth is, the world would be poorer without your unique contributions. You don't need to have the biggest idea or the loudest voice. What you have to offer is already valuable, and when you start sharing it, no matter how small it seems at first, you begin to create a ripple effect that can reach farther than you ever imagined. Think about it this way: you have a natural talent, a unique gift that no one else can replicate in the exact same way. When you share that gift, you're offering something to the world that it doesn't have anywhere else. And that's what makes you irreplaceable. That's what makes your contribution meaningful. It's easy to get caught in the trap of comparison and think that what others are doing is more important or more valuable than what you can bring to the table. But the reality is that the world needs all kinds of gifts. It needs your creativity, your compassion, your ability to solve problems, your way with words, your skills, your energy, all of it. There's room for every kind of gift to have an impact. It's not about competing, it's about contributing. And when you contribute what only you can contribute, that's when the world starts to change. And don't think for a second that your gifts have to be something extraordinary to matter. Sometimes it's the simple things that make the biggest impact. Maybe you're an incredible listener, and just by showing up for someone in need, you've made a huge difference in their life. Maybe you have a knack for simplifying complex ideas, and by sharing that ability, you've helped others learn something new or find a solution to a problem. Whatever it is, it matters. So, if you're still wondering whether your gift is worthy of being shared, the answer is a resounding yes. Your gift is needed. The world is waiting for it. It might not be a huge stage or a platform of millions that you're meant to have, but that doesn't make your impact any less important. In fact, your influence might be felt more deeply in the places where you least expect it. The person whose life you touch with a simple word of encouragement, the stranger whose day is made brighter by your kindness, the child whose imagination you ignite with a story or an idea. The power of your gift lies in its authenticity. It's about being yourself, showing up as you are, and sharing what you have. The world needs your light, your voice, your perspective, and your talent. Don't wait for permission. Don't hold back out of fear or self-doubt. Take that first step, share your gifts, and watch as the world around you responds in ways you never thought possible. Your success, your fulfillment, and your impact are waiting for you to embrace what you've already been given. You are not here by accident, and your talents are not a fluke. They are meant to be shared. So, unwrap them. Let them shine. The world is ready for what you have to offer. It's incredible how life works when you start to actively use and grow your talents. It's like the universe suddenly opens up new paths, as if doors begin to unlock that you didn't even know were there. These aren't just random opportunities. They're the results of your effort, your willingness to grow, and your commitment to using the gifts you already have. The more you lean into your unique abilities, the more the world seems to align in ways you couldn't have predicted. The gifts you've been given aren't meant to stay hidden. They're meant to open doors, one after another. Let me take you on a journey of someone you might be familiar with. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah didn't just become a household name by chance. Her gift, her ability to connect with people, to understand them and tell their stories, was always there. But it was when she decided to step into that gift fully that her opportunities began to multiply. Oprah started out as a television news anchor, but she soon realized that her true calling was to inspire people, to have meaningful conversations, and to help people feel heard and understood. She didn't follow the traditional path for success, but instead she used her natural talent for empathy and communication to create something completely her own. What happened next? A whole world of doors opened up. Her talk show became a cultural phenomenon, and from there, Oprah branched out into producing, publishing, and even building her own network. But it wasn't about chasing fame or success. It was about her embracing her gift and sharing it with the world. And by doing that, the world responded with opportunities she never imagined. She didn't just stumble into success. She earned it by leaning into what she was passionate about. Now, let's talk about someone from a completely different world. Steve Jobs. Jobs didn't start out as a tech mogul. In fact, when he co-founded Apple, he was just a guy with a vision. He didn't have a clear blueprint for success, but what he did have was a deep passion for design and a drive to create something revolutionary. Jobs didn't get to where he was by following the status quo or by doing what everyone else was doing. He used his natural ability to think differently, to innovate, to shape the tech industry as we know it today. And what happened? As he kept nurturing his gift, doors began to open that he couldn't have predicted. Apple went on to change the world, from the way we communicate to the way we live and work. Jobs' ability to see the world differently, to push the boundaries of what technology could do, led him to build one of the most successful companies in the world. But it all started with him trusting in his gift and pursuing it relentlessly, even when the odds were against him. But you don't have to be a billionaire entrepreneur to experience how your gifts can open doors. Let's take a look at someone like Chance the Rapper, who turned his love for music into an unstoppable force. Chance started out as an independent artist, choosing to give away his music for free rather than sign with a major label. Why? Because he recognized his gift for music and storytelling, and he knew that if he leaned into that gift, opportunities would follow. By staying true to his unique sound and not following the conventional path, Chance created a movement that revolutionized the music industry. And doors began to open. He won Grammy Awards, started his own record label, and became a philanthropist, changing not only the music industry, but also his community. What's amazing about Chance's story is that he didn't wait for someone else to give him permission. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He just used his gifts and worked hard to develop them. And in return, the doors opened and opportunities followed him. You see, the lesson here is this: when you start actively using and growing your talents, the universe begins to align in unexpected ways. The more you put your gift out into the world, the more you start to see connections, patterns, and opportunities that weren't visible before. You start to realize that your efforts are building momentum and the opportunities aren't random. They're a direct result of your hard work, your passion, and your belief in your own abilities. Let's talk about you now. What's your gift? What do you feel passionate about? It might not feel like much at first, but remember, every big opportunity starts with a small spark. When you start nurturing your talent, whether it's writing, drawing, teaching, problem solving, or something else entirely, you're planting the seeds for future opportunities. The key is not to wait for things to happen. You have to put in the effort, keep showing up, keep learning, keep growing. The more you commit to your passion, the more doors you'll find opening in your life. They might not always look like what you expect, but they'll lead you to places that will help you grow and thrive. Your gift is already there. All you have to do is nurture it and trust that the opportunities will follow. Whether you're just starting out or you've been on this journey for a while, know that every step you take brings you closer to something greater. The doors that open for you might not be the same ones that opened for Oprah, Steve Jobs, or Chance the Rapper, but they'll be just as powerful and just as transformative. When you lean into your unique gifts, the world begins to respond, and before you know it, you'll find yourself walking through doors you never even saw coming. Your gifts are waiting for you to use them, so go ahead, take that step, nurture what you've been given, and watch as the doors to your future begin to swing wide open. When it comes to gifts, there's often this misconception that they should come fully formed, that they should just work on their own without much effort from us. But that's simply not the case. Even the most extraordinary talents require nurturing. Think of your gifts like a plant in need of sunlight, water, and care to grow. If you don't tend to them, they won't have the chance to reach their full potential. Your unique talents might be inside you from the start, but they won't flourish without consistent practice, patience, and persistence. The most successful people in the world didn't just wake up one day with all their talents perfected. They didn't just discover their gifts and expect everything to magically fall into place. They worked at it, day in, day out. They practiced deliberately, refined their skills, and weren't afraid to stumble along the way. And they didn't give up when things got tough. In fact, it's often the people who push through the tough moments, who show up when it's hard, who end up seeing the greatest rewards. Think about Michael Jordan, the basketball legend. He's often cited as one of the greatest athletes of all time, but the truth is, he didn't make his high school basketball team on his first try. In fact, he was cut from the team because his skills weren't up to par. Instead of giving up, he used that rejection as fuel. He didn't let it define him. Instead, he went on to practice harder than ever before. Jordan didn't rely solely on his natural athleticism. He spent hours in the gym, working on his technique, refining his skills, and pushing himself beyond his limits. His success didn't come from raw talent alone. It came from a combination of consistent effort and the willingness to keep improving, no matter the setbacks. You might not be aiming to be the next basketball superstar, but the principle is the same. Whatever your gift is, whether it's writing, drawing, singing, solving problems, or building something new, it won't reach its full potential if you don't actively nurture it. This is where practice comes in. Practice is how you refine your abilities and make them stronger. It's about putting in the time to get better and better, to challenge yourself, and to grow in ways you didn't think were possible. One important thing to remember is that practice isn't just about repetition, it's about deliberate practice. Deliberate practice means focusing on improving specific aspects of your skill, not just going through the motions. It's about identifying what you're struggling with and putting in the work to improve. Whether you're a musician trying to master a difficult piece or a writer working on your storytelling, deliberate practice means pushing yourself to do things that are hard but ultimately rewarding. And this requires patience because improvement doesn't always happen overnight. Another crucial component in developing your gifts is patience. Patience with the process, with yourself, and with the journey. It's easy to look at others who seem to have mastered their talents and feel frustrated or discouraged because you're not there yet. But here's the truth: it takes time. We live in a world that's obsessed with instant results, but talent doesn't work that way. Think about how long it took for your favorite musician to become as good as they are, or how long it took for a successful entrepreneur to build their company. It didn't happen in a day, a month, or even a year. It took years of patience, of showing up, of facing failures, and of making mistakes. Your gifts will grow with time, but only if you're willing to be patient with them, and more importantly, with yourself. And then there's persistence. This is the key that makes all the difference. You're going to have days where you feel like you're not getting anywhere. There will be days when things don't work out the way you planned. But persistence is about pushing through those moments, knowing that the work you're putting in is going to pay off in the long run. It's about continuing to move forward, even when progress feels slow or when you face obstacles. One of the most important things to remember on this journey is that mistakes are not failures. They are opportunities for growth. Each mistake you make is a chance to learn, to refine, and to improve. It's all part of the process. When you hit a roadblock or mess up, don't view it as a sign that you're not good enough or that you should quit. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every single successful person has made mistakes. What sets them apart is their ability to keep going, to learn from those mistakes, and to apply that learning as they move forward. So how do you go about building on your strengths and developing your gifts? First, start by recognizing where you are and where you want to go. Take an honest look at your current abilities and identify areas where you'd like to grow. Then, break down those areas into smaller, more manageable steps. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Focus on one aspect at a time. Whether it's improving your technique in something, learning more about your field, or expanding your knowledge, take it step by step. Another tip is to seek feedback. This can be one of the hardest things to do, but it's incredibly valuable. Don't be afraid to ask for constructive criticism. Whether it's from a mentor, a peer, or even someone who's been where you are, feedback can help you identify your blind spots and see areas where you can improve. It also keeps you grounded and focused on growth, rather than letting your ego get in the way. Set goals for yourself, but be flexible in your approach. Your path to success may not look exactly the way you imagined it, and that's okay. The key is to keep moving forward, learning as you go, and adapting to new information or circumstances. Finally, trust the process. Developing your gifts won't always be easy, and there will be moments when you feel like giving up. But I promise you, the more you invest in yourself, the more you grow. Practice, patience, and persistence are the building blocks of success. The more you use your gifts, the more they'll develop, and before you know it, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. Keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, and keep believing in your ability to grow. Your potential is limitless, and the only thing standing between you and your dreams is the commitment to nurturing your gifts every single day. Your gifts are powerful, and they aren't just for personal success. They're meant to help you make a difference in the world. While it's easy to get caught up in personal achievements, True fulfillment comes from using your talents to contribute to something larger than yourself. Just like the influential figures who've changed the world, you have the ability to leave a lasting impact. Your gifts can help others, inspire change, and create a ripple effect that goes beyond your own life. Success isn't only about personal gain, it's about how you use your talents to uplift those around you. Whether it's through teaching, creating, or helping others, your gifts can bring value to the world. The responsibility that comes with success is realizing that what you've been given is not just for you, but for the good of others. The more you use your abilities for good, the more meaningful your success will be. Think about how you can use your skills to bring positive change. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Small acts of kindness, sharing your knowledge, or creating opportunities for others can make a big difference. By doing this, you inspire others to use their gifts in the same way. Your success will no longer just be about what you achieve, it will be about the positive impact you leave behind. So, as you continue on your journey, remember that your gifts have the power to change the world. Use them wisely, and let your success be measured by how much you contribute to the greater good.